Hi everybody, I'm Keith with Boys Life.
I'm Brian with Boys Life.
And we're here today talking about food waste. Now Brian, did you know that 30 to 40% of food in the United States is wasted every month?
30 to 40%.
30 to 40%.
Wow.
That's a lot of food waste. It comes to about 20 pounds of waste per person per month.
That's pretty crazy. So
Yeah.
that's actually more than plastic or paper, is that right?
That's possibly true. I don't know that for
Yeah.
sure.
That's what we reported in the pages of Boys Life magazine.
Okay, if it's in the magazine, it's true.
20 pounds per person per month. So that's a lot of food. That's what, is it spoiled or it's just not used?
I think a lot of it's just unused.
Okay.
And some of it might be spoiled.
So this is stuff that you probably don't need to throw away? Is that
Right,
what
yeah.
I'm
We have some tricks here today, actually. In the September edition of Boys Life, there's a spread about garbage and eating garbage for dinner. 5 tips for how you can reuse would-be garbage and make a meal out of it. And we're going to show you 3 of those here today.
So yeah, garbage, it's what's for dinner. I like that. So let's eat some trash.
Let's eat
How about that?
let's eat some garbage.
Okay.
So the first thing we're going to do here today is we're going to show you how you can take old stale bread. This is hard. You can take this and you can reuse it and actually make breadcrumbs out of it.
Nice.
Breadcrumbs are fairly inexpensive at the grocery store, but this is just one way you can help reduce waste in the United States or wherever you're viewing this from.
It was something that was going to be thrown away anyway, right?
Right, yeah, it's old bread. Nobody wants to eat this.
Yeah.
I suppose you could make like a bread pudding or something out of it. But yeah, we were going to throw this away, but you know, perfectly good. Why not make some
We should note that
breadcrumbs out of
it's not moldy, so it's still safe to eat. Is that right?
That is correct,
It's just kind of reached that semi-stale stage, right?
That's
So,
correct.
Excellent. All right. So what are you going to do here?
I'll get this started.
Okay.
What I'm going to do is I'm just going to cube it up. And this is just so the food processor has an easier time with breaking everything down.
And we washed our hands before we did this.
That's correct.
So if there are any moms watching, don't worry, we did wash our hands.
Yep.
So this is smart. You kind of stack them up so you are expediting your time here with cutting.
That's correct.
You've been watching the Food Network, haven't you?
I work smart, not hard.
There you go. Mike Rowe.
Is that where it's from?
Yeah,
Okay.
Well, he has said that before.
Okay, so I'm just going to cut these into cubes.
Nice.
And be careful when you're using knives. If you haven't used a knife before, make sure you ask your parents for assistance.
And a good sign that the bread has reached the semi-stale stage is that you're able to cut through it so easily with a knife, right?
That's correct.
Because a soft piece of bread, you know, the kind you would use for a sandwich isn't going to be quite as cuttable there. So I'll just stand here and observe you do all the
You
work.
do that.
Yeah.
And if you're watching and you have some great ways that you can reuse food or things that you've done, let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, it's all about getting rid of that food waste and trying to reduce your 20 pounds per person per month, right?
Right.
Per month, that's crazy.
It's a lot of wasted
Yeah.
food. And as scouts, we definitely want to do what we can to help.
Yeah.
Do you guys have some ideas on how you can keep food, especially bread, from going stale in the first place? Any ideas about that? Or
Just eat it really quickly. No, what,
Okay,
you
good.
have some for us?
sure. It
Okay.
says keep these things packed in airtight containers.
Okay, so the air is what's making it stale, right?
Yeah, so
Okay.
if you keep them out of that, or sometimes in the fridge will help.
That's good.
Um,
Yeah, we'll
personally-
freeze our bread sometimes, like the half of the loaf. We'll just keep it in the freezer and then bring it out when we need it.
I think I'm going to stop here.
Our researcher gave us these tips, or you can just buy fewer of those products in the first place. Well, I guess that would work too.
That's
So-
true. Yeah, sometimes you don't need the 50 pack of something, right? That's a good point.
Menu planning is
Yeah.
always helpful. You know, buy what you're going to use.
And if you're at scout camp, just find that one scout who will always eat everything anyway,
Yep.
right? Finish everybody's plates.
So we have
That
some
was
more
me.
people who've just joined. Tell us
Okay.
what we're doing again. What's happening?
We're gonna eat trash.
We're eating trash here today.
No, this is from the September issue of Boys Life magazine, page 34. In fact, garbage. It's what's for dinner. We've listed 5 recipes for things that you would normally throw away, thinking you don't need to use them anymore. Is that right?
That's correct.
And we've got Chef Keith and I guess you could call me Chef Brian. I don't know.
Sous chef.
You're the expert here. Sous chef. There we go.
So I've got our stale bread chunks or cubes in a food processor. So I'm just going to run that.
Nice.
There you go. So now
That's
what
pretty
we've
cool.
done is we've just saved ourselves a trip to the grocery store because we have
Yeah.
breadcrumbs here. You can use them for meatballs. You can bread meat. You can make fried chicken. There's plenty of things. Do you have anything you like to do with breadcrumbs?
the whole recipe's here. So just turn to your Boys Life magazine, but it's it's got your recipe for breading chicken or pork chops. So at this stage, you would dip the meat in the flour, then eggs, and then these breadcrumbs, and then you just cook it in a pan. Sounds pretty tasty. So we're not showing that step. We're just getting to this point, right?
Right. We just wanted to show you that you can reuse old bread to make breadcrumbs.
That's cool.
Like I said earlier, it's an inexpensive item at the grocery store, but this is a way you can help reduce waste. So, highly recommend this, especially for those end chunks, the end pieces of the loaf.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, nobody really likes those.
Nobody
Yeah.
wants those.
I only eat those when there's no other option. So.
Yes, that's a peanut butter and jelly emergency.
It is.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, let me
Cool. All right.
step out of the way here.
You got some good breadcrumbs there.
Okay. So the second thing we're going to talk about is actually a little more hands-on, but it's a lot more fun, and it's probably going to be tasting good. I don't know yet. We haven't gotten there.
Okay.
But we're going to show you how you can reuse your fruit peels. So what we've got here.
So you're not just tossing these, right? That you're
Yeah.
actually going to use them somehow?
Yeah, I mean
Okay, I
normally
gotta see this.
you eat an orange, you peel it, you throw it away.
Yes.
And don't even think twice of it. But we're going to make these into essentially a fruit peel candy. So let me get
Cool.
started here.
Can I interrupt real quick?
Yes, please.
Jessica had a comment. She said that she's also used stale bread to make croutons with it.
Oh yeah,
That's
that'd
pretty
be
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So if you're making croutons with it, you just want to cube it up. What would you do with it then? Is it Jessica?
Wonder if you bake them, or like maybe put a little bit of olive oil or something.
Season
on
them,
and-
maybe?
Yeah,
Yeah.
season them up a little bit.
Yeah, it's a good idea though
It
for
is.
reusing old bread. Thank you very much. Was it Jessica?
Jessica, yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
keep
you.
those ideas coming.
So the recipe for what we're doing here is in the September Boys Life.
Yep.
Also, Brandon just unsubscribed. He said so.
Oh, okay. Well, all right.
All right, thanks, Brandon.
Yeah. We'll tip our chef's hats.
Okay, so I'm going to cut up the orange peels and the lemon peel into 1/4-inch strips.
Okay, so you already ate the orange inside, and as instructed here, it's probably a good idea to wash them first. And I know you did that before we started.
Wash your hands, wash your fruit,
Yeah, exactly.
wash your knives,
Yep.
wash everything.
So it says remove the peels, and now you're slicing them into 1/4-inch strips. Is that what you said?
That's correct.
Okay. You can actually eat those, because I would never have thought to eat them. That's cool.
And to help compare and contrast, do you want to try eating a peel now?
We better. Okay. It's kind of bitter.
It's
and-
really bitter.
and kind of flavorless. Also,
Terrible texture.
It doesn't have any of that orange flavor.
Ooh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
I regret that. I just
There has
did
to
that.
be a better way, right?
Yeah, let's. Oh,
Okay.
oh that's awful. All right,
Whose
let me
idea
finish
was that?
the
Yeah, well, that's
terrible
good for comparison. That's the control group,
way. Yeah,
and then we'll test out the recipe here.
whatever we're gonna do cannot be any worse than that.
And through the magic of Facebook Live, you're going to kind of speed up this process, right? Because I note here that this whole thing would take you, about 45 minutes to do every step.
Yeah, that's right. If you're watching with us, don't worry. We're not going to take an hour to make this because we've already prepared in advance.
Cool.
So let me just
Regular
finish this up.
Emerald Lagasse here.
Do we have any food waste facts?
Oh
or
yeah.
tips or anything?
Well, Jessica was pointing out, she was the one that gave the suggestion for the croutons earlier. She gave us some great advice. She put some butter and bakes them in the oven for 350 for a while.
Okay, cool.
Hard
Just
to
kind of
melt
keep an eye
things.
on them.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
And we have a few people that like the way your faces as you tried to eat those. I think this is pretty
Yeah.
sour.
Yeah, faces says it all.
Well, if it was sour, maybe that would even be better. It was just
Yeah.
like bitter. It was
Yeah.
anyway. Okay, so
It tastes like a fruit peel. It tastes like what you would expect a fruit peel to taste like.
yeah.
So we're gonna dress these up.
Okay.
We've got these here ready to boil, and we're gonna boil them. Let me just double check the recipe. We're gonna boil these for about 10 minutes, just in water.
Okay.
So let me get that going.
So that softens them, or what is that doing exactly?
I think it's gonna soften them. Idea. Let me grab a pot holder.
Okay. Also, if you were at all worried about, them being completely sanitary, boiling takes care of that as well too, right?
That's correct. Any of the germs will be killed here
yeah.
by boiling.
Cool. So you toss them in there, and again, it's 10 minutes, and any amount of water really, right? Okay, so we'll set the timer there.
So okay, this
This is our kitchen studio here.
There we go.
Boys Life Kitchen. Nope, I think you
No?
just messed it up again. Well,
Okay, 10 minutes. There we go.
There
We're
we
You
good.
just hit the launch codes on my oven.
Oh, no. Okay.
okay, so
So-
while that's boiling,
It's going to go for 10 minutes. And through the magic of television and Facebook Live, we actually have some pre-boiled peels here. So I don't know, Brian, do you want to, should we,
yeah,
let's give this one another go here?
well, I gotta.
They're at least a little softer now.
So these are ones that you've boiled already? Is
Yeah,
that-
these have been previously boiled.
Okay, well, it's a better texture. It's still kind of bland.
A little bitter yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
You're not.
No,
a fan?
don't do this.
All right, I'm putting that back.
Okay.
I just tore it off.
Oh, yuck.
You didn't even finish yours.
But
Okay.
you're not done, right?
No,
But
these
wait,
are not
there's
done.
more.
These are
Yeah.
not done. Don't stop watching,
That's
because
what they're
there's
going to look like after boiling.
the magic is still coming. And you know, if you start out with a little bit of sugar, you start to look at what we're doing here, and you can kind of see that okay, this is going places. I'm excited to see where Keith and Brian are going to take us in their fruit peel adventure.
Might want to turn up the heat on that.
Okay, so we got some water here. I'm gonna get this boiling. What I did is I just put a half a cup of sugar in there, and that was a cup of water that we started with.
You're going to bring that to a boil. That's the step after.
This is the next step.
You let them dry after that initial boil.
That's right. I should say that. Once they're done boiling in the first pot of water, which is just water, you're gonna want to spread them out over a paper towel and let it dry for 15 minutes. And then you introduce it to the sugar water boil, which is what we're working on here.
So you're going to bring that to a boil.
Bring it to a boil.
And so this is the second time they're going to get boiled, but this time with the added sugar.
And you know, I think for time's sake, I'm just gonna go ahead and add it. It's not quite at a boiling level yet, but it's not far. So let's do that. I'm just making sure these have just been boiled in water.
So you want to toss them in that sugar water. That's what's happening next.
Yep.
Okay.
And is it 20 minutes in here?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you-
wait, let me see. Yep, exactly. So
Make
they
sure
were staying
they're-
there for 20 minutes. And again, we're not going to wait the entire 20 minutes, right? So
Right.
We'll speed that up.
So remind me when that goes off, then we
Okay.
need to add some time. But
Okay.
okay, so that's gonna go for 20 minutes, and then you're gonna want to put that out on paper towels again to dry.
Okay.
How long does it dry again? 15 minutes.
15 minutes, yeah. Remove them with the slotted spoon, obviously, not with your fingers.
So a little more magic. This is after boiling in the sugary water mix, and so now let's try some of these peels, and they're actually not too bad. I've already had
So
some.
these are like candied fruit peels almost, right?
In a way, it's double boiled, and the second time you boil it
Yeah.
with watery sugar. So.
Mhm. And it says here you can put them a little bit in a little bit of granulated sugar, and then let them cool for. It says several hours, so I bet after even a little bit longer they'll taste even better. But
Yeah.
these actually are pretty good,
They are, and
and they're high in vitamin C. One would think.
you actually got ahead of me here.
Okay.
I've got a little
Oh,
sugar
there we
here.
go. We haven't even done that stage.
No,
So there's
no.
more sugar.
There's more sugar.
All right, I like it.
More sugar!
No, we didn't say this was going to be a health food thing. So eat in moderation.
Yeah.
As
Well,
with anything.
it's a good snack when you're out, hiking around. You could toss some of these in a plastic bag once they're all made up.
See, I see this as a great alternative to like gummy bears or what is it, Sour Patch? Those things.
Oh, Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah.
Those are the greatest.
Yeah. So now we've got some sugary fruit mix here.
Cool.
Fruit peels. I'm gonna try another one.
Yeah, I'm gonna try a lemon one, because I've been trying all orange.
It's really good. Seriously, make this on your camp out.
Yeah, the lemon I like a lot.
Minus the boiling.
The lemon has a stronger flavor, which
Mhm.
kind of makes sense. I guess you could use limes, any other type of citrus fruit, really.
avocado, maybe. I don't know. I probably wouldn't do that.
Okay. So now we would let them kind of cool on this piece of aluminum foil, and then you're done.
Yep. And it says in the magazine you want to let them cool for several hours.
Okay.
We did not do that in advance, but you get the picture here. And as you could probably see from the expressions on our faces, this tasted a lot better than the first two tries of eating raw peels. So,
And of course, any other peels that you don't want to use, but don't think are very appetizing, you could always compost them, right?
that's a great, yeah.
And yeah, so you can start a compost pile in the backyard or under your sink and convert that food into a useful resource that's going to help your garden grow and everything. So,
Composting is a great way to get rid of any waste.
Yeah.
You should mention that. This is just a way you can maybe reuse and recook some of the foods you have in your at your disposal.
You guys want to recap what's going on?
Yeah, this is Boys Life Facebook Live, of course, and this is the September 2016 issue of Boys Life. We're eating trash here. We're eating stuff that you normally would have thrown away. We've got 5 recipes that we're testing here in this article. And Keith actually told me earlier that the average person wastes 20 pounds of food per month. So that's stuff that is thrown away when it really doesn't have to be.
It's if you take the collective waste in the United States,
Oh, yeah,
it averages out to about 20 pounds per person.
Okay. So yeah, the idea is we're going to save some of that stuff from the landfill and put it in our stomachs.
Put it in our bellies, yeah, and put smiles on our faces.
Right. We already made breadcrumbs out of semi-stale bread,
Mm-hmm.
and now you've taught us how to make a.
Candied fruit peels.
Yeah.
There's no name in the magazine, but
Am I allowed to have another one? Because
you can have as many as you want. They're really good.
Yeah.
I'm still surprised at how good they are.
Aaron Durr really likes the hats and the aprons.
Oh,
Thank you, Aaron. Yeah.
Well, when in Rome, as they say.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Okay, so one more thing we're gonna do here.
Okay.
Now, I love mushrooms. Do you eat a lot of mushrooms?
I do. Like when I was a scout at age, I hated mushrooms.
Mhm,
But
me too.
For some reason, now that I'm an adult, I've gotten into them a lot more.
Okay. Well, if you cook with mushrooms, generally you're taking the stems off, and
Yes.
what do you do with them?
They become part of that 20 pounds a month.
They do. Yeah, you
just
throw them away. They probably don't taste good raw, and I'm not going to try that.
They don't look even appetizing. They look, like twigs off of a tree or something.
It looks.
But you have a way to save them? Is that what you're saying?
We have an idea here.
Okay.
What we're gonna do is I'm gonna cut these up finely
Okay.
in a fine manner. And while I'm doing this, is there another food waste tip we have?
Yeah. Let's see. We've got some from our researcher here. Brian, do you want to hit us with a tip or a fact about cutting down on food waste?
Most of the household food waste is fish, eggs, milk, fruits, and vegetables, which makes sense. That's the stuff that goes bad, spoils fastest. Those are the things that people lose the most.
Right.
And also, restaurants are a big source of food waste. It makes sense. A lot of leftovers.
Yeah.
They just throw those away, or
Because they got to be ready to make every dish on the menu, even if people don't order it.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
See, I always take mine to go.
Yeah.
If I'm going out to eat, I wanna enjoy every piece of that food, even if I can't do it all at once.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you're, don't order it if you're not going to eat it, kind of thing.
Okay, so I've got chopped up mushrooms here,
Okay.
and what we're gonna do,
I'm interested to see how you're going to use these.
we are gonna make hamburgers,
Oh,
and we're
nice.
gonna use the mushroom stems on there.
Excellent.
This is a really easy way to get rid of those mushroom stems without wasting them, and it actually boosts the vitamin D content.
Oh, that's
The
smart.
burgers.
Okay.
So make it a little healthier, and you can reduce waste. So I'm just gonna slide these chopped up mushrooms into the hamburger.
So this is a way to kind of like hide something that's good for you in your
Yeah.
delicious burger.
It'd
That's,
be a great
that's actually
way
pretty smart.
great way to trick kids into eating something
right.
healthy.
Right.
You could probably do this with other vegetables. Actually,
Sure.
think about it.
Why not?
I've got a little Worcestershire sauce here.
Okay.
I'm just gonna put a little bit of that in for flavoring.
So you're just going to make a kind of a mushroom burger patty here. That's
Yeah, maybe
pretty good.
Brian, could you grab a plate?
Yeah.
To your right. To your right.
Any comments coming in? Any other suggestions for how you can save food?
One of the things you can do is the way you store your food is a big difference. Makes a big difference in whether it saves or not.
Mhm.
So, for example, when you unpack your groceries from the grocery store,
Right.
make sure you put the new stuff in the back and the old stuff in the front.
Oh, that's
So
good.
the stuff that when you open up the fridge, you see the stuff that's older, so you can use it before it expires.
Yeah, because I always seem to go right for that brand new thing of jelly, and there's another one that's in the very back. That's a good point. Yeah, that's great. First in, first out, right?
Okay, so I've got the burger patties coming up here. Again, we're looking at the September Boys Life
Yeah.
issue, and in particular, there's a feature called Garbage. It's what for dinner, and we're showing you how you can reuse some of what would be food scraps and make them into something that you actually eat.
Yeah, why not?
And in this case, we have chopped up mushrooms in these hamburger patties to give us a little extra vitamin D. chopped up mushroom stems, I should say, which are normally garbage.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have burgers ready to throw on the grill.
Okay, so that's our. Earlier we made fruit, orange peels and lemon peels into candy, and so that's not the place about to blow up. That's telling us that it's time to take these off the boiling water.
Yeah, slide the spoon here.
Okay, so I'm kind of jumping back and forth, but Keith is going to finish this next step in the recipe where he's taking these fruit peels out of the boiling water. And we did try them before doing anything to them, just right off the peel.
Yeah, it's
and,
awful.
Anybody who's ever tried that knows our pain. And then over here, Garth, if you want to get in there, this is the next step. After they dry a little bit, they're boiling in sugar water, which of course is going to make them a lot more
Yeah, can we get a close-up?
palatable. Yeah.
Like,
So that's kind of a nice shot of those. I'll tilt it up a little bit. So just a cup of water and I think a half cup of sugar went into there.
Yep.
And the finished product of those fruit peels is right down here, and pretty good.
Steve was wondering, you're boiling that in water and then you're boiling it in sugar afterwards. What was the purpose of the first boil, do you think?
the first boil softens it up quite a bit. We should have said that when we were eating it. But yeah,
There's a big difference.
Yeah, when you have raw peels, they're chewy and texture is just not very inviting. It softens it up just enough so that it's ready to boil again with the sugar. So
And really, any produce doesn't necessarily have to be thrown away. If it's kind of soft fruit or if it's wilting vegetables, it can be used in like a smoothie or a stew or to make a
Right.
fruit juice or stuff like that. So just because it's got a couple brown spots on it doesn't mean the whole thing has to go in the trash.
Right, yeah.
And now we know that even once you've eaten the entire citrus fruit, you can eat the peel as well. It's actually really, really tasty. I'm surprised. To be honest, I wasn't entirely convinced those were going to be good, but they are.
I think I agree. The lemon is a little better.
Yeah, and you could do limes, like we said before. Also, we talked earlier about restaurants being responsible for a lot of food waste. Well, a lot of times what they'll do is donate what they don't use, and actually, people can do that too. They could donate, leftover things. A lot of farmers will do that with their excess food, and there's no reason that you or I couldn't do that too.
There we go. And we're kind of doing it today.
Yeah.
I mean,
If you ever have any food that you don't want, just bring it on in.
okay.
I'll take care of
You'll
it.
take all my garbage.
Sure. Well, to an extent. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
So yeah, that's what we've done here today. Did you learn anything, Brian?
I did. You don't necessarily have to throw it right away. And actually, this is a nice little teaser to the magazine. Again, the September issue. We told you what you can do with broccoli leaves. Those parts that no one knows what to do with. Those
Yeah.
like leaf things that are part of broccoli,
Yeah,
but not
yeah.
really. And then also the carrot tops, and not the comedian.
Not the comedian. No.
We don't know what to do with him. We do know what to do with the actual carrot tops on the vegetable. And that's all in the magazine, right? You can turn those into some treats as well.
Yeah, check out the September Boys Life issue. At some point, it'll probably be on boyslife.org as well. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
If you have any other suggestions or thoughts, leave them in the comments, and we'll see you next time.
Let's have some mushroom burgers. How about that?
Let's make some burgers.
All right.
All right. Thanks, everyone.